So let me take you back to when I first started as a filmmaker. I had all these big ideas swirling in my head and stories that I couldn't wait to tell, but there was this one massive roadblock that was standing in my way: funding. Every time I'd ask for advice, I'd get the same answer: you need a pitch deck. Simple enough, right? Except I had no idea or clue what a pitch deck was or even looked like. To me, it might as well have been a secret handshake or some password at like an exclusive club, because I wasn't invited. Everyone, seemed to know what these were except for me. But hey, I wasn't going to let a little, complete ignorance stand in my way. So I threw myself into researching and I went research mode. Google and I became really close friends. I dug through blogs and forums and tutorials. I mean, you name it, I was trying to find a pitch deck and examples of this. And most of the advice that I would get from these areas was vague or assumed that I already had the basics, which, spoiler alert, I had no idea what I was doing. There was this moment where I felt like I was just trying to assemble this IKEA furniture, like with no instructions, but finally, after weeks of research, I struck gold. I managed to get my hands on, a few real pitch decks from Hollywood productions. And let me tell you, they were gorgeous. They were polished with slides and amazing photos and visuals. I mean, these things look like they belonged in an art museum. So naturally, I thought this was it. This is the missing piece. So I threw everything I had into creating my own version that were polished and professional, and they were awesome. I really felt like I was a genius. But, once they're ready, I sent them out to every single person who had ever pretended to be interested in my film ideas. And I was just pumped. I could practically hear the emails rolling in and offerings of funding. But instead, it was crickets. It was one of those moments where you just start questioning everything. Like, is this whole filmmaking thing just this crazy dream? Did I make a total mistake? I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like full of doubt, Then you start asking yourself, did I accidentally send them a blank email? And then when you start getting positive, you go, maybe the deck was so good they were intimidated. At one point, I even considered calling my mom for a pet talk because clearly something had gone horribly wrong. Well, the truth is, I think I did that. Well, weeks turned into months and the silence got kind of deafening. The voices in my head were starting to get pretty loud. I had a few responses that were polite, but, painfully disappointing. One funder even says, asked me, so what's your project really about? I was like totally shocked. Obviously they don't understand how Hollywood movies are made. And that's when it hit me. They don't. I was creating the wrong tools. What I didn't understand was Hollywood-style pitch decks might work for blockbuster studio executives or ad agencies, but I wasn't pitching a Marvel movie or a commercial for Mercedes. I was trying to fund an impact documentary to funders who often were not involved in filmmaking. When I started to see was most funders weren't looking for artistic breakdowns or glossy production stills. They wanted clarity. They wanted to know who I was, who my team was, what my story was about, why it mattered, and how I was going to create real-world change with an impact documentary. I realized I needed to rethink my entire approach. We need more than just a tool. We need a toolkit. After a lot of trial and error, we discovered there were 3 key documents we needed to create that have basically become our foundation for raising money for impact documentaries. These weren't just like random PDFs. They were game changers, and they have allowed us to raise about $1.5 million in funding for impact docs. But let me break these down for you. First is our development one sheet. So picture this. You're sitting in this coffee shop and you're talking to someone who could actually help you fund your film. They're nodding along and they're intrigued and curious. And then they ask, can you send me more, about your project? So that's where your development one sheet comes in. It's not flashy. It's 1 or 2 pages that clearly lay out your project. Think of it as a business card for your idea. It includes the title, a logline, a short synopsis, why the film matters, your target audience, who's going to make the film with you, and also includes a small amount of money you need for development. This is usually between $5,000 and $25,000. So here's the magic. This is more than just a document. It actually sends a message. You and I are not just artists, we're people who understand basic business principles and how to communicate clearly. It gives funders confidence that we're organized and know what we're doing. Our one sheet doesn't dazzle them with flashy stuff. It's about getting people to see our vision and ultimately say, I want to know more. Now let's talk about our second document, our project proposal. Once we have raised some development money, with our one sheet, we use these funds to buy our time to do research and create our project proposal, trailer, and photography. This is basically the meat and potatoes of your pitch, showing funders and collaborators that you're well thought through and you know every detail and you're ready to make it happen. It covers your title, your logline, your synopsis of your story, and it doesn't stop there. It also includes a scene-by-scene outline of your script, what makes your project unique, bios of your characters, bios of your crew, a step-by-step production plan, and then we back it up with a line item budget, data analysis of our potential audience, and then we add in a complete budget breakdown, a timeline, a start and finish date, and a plan for marketing, distribution, and impact. So here's the thing. This isn't about information. It shows people that you're passionate and prepared, but also that we know how to run a project. A solid proposal doesn't just say, I have a great idea. It says, I'm the person who actually can bring it to life, and here's exactly how I'm going to do it. This document builds trust and confidence and shows that we're professionals and understand both storytelling and business. If it's done right, it's the backbone and blueprint for your entire project. The last document is our version of a pitch deck. This is our visual storytelling tool. It's like a trailer in PowerPoint form, something that grabs attention and gets funders excited. But here's the twist. Our pitch decks aren't overloaded with creative visuals or details. They're 10 clear, eye-catching slides that explain the project at a glance. This includes a budget summary, impact goals, team bios, and a director statement. The goal isn't to overwhelm, it's to actually inspire curiosity and set the stage for deeper conversations. Remember, these films are going to cost tens and tens of thousands of dollars. It's going to take a few conversations to get there. So once we mastered these documents, everything changed. With these documents, we had a toolkit that we could use in a bunch of different ways, but more than that, it gave us personal confidence that we knew exactly how we were going to use the funds that we were asking for. And that happened. Suddenly, funders were calling us back and partners were excited to get on board, and it felt like we were kind of like we had unlocked the secret language of impact filmmaking. And here's the best part. These tools aren't just for raising money, they actually create clarity. They help us define our goals, focus our storytelling, and build the kind of projects that we're actually we're proud to share with people. So what's the takeaway? If you're trying to fund an impact doc, don't make the same mistake I did. Focus on clarity, purpose, and creating documents that truly serve the people you want to work with. I'd love to hear what you think. Have you tried any of these strategies before? What are your pitch decks and project proposals? What do they look like? What's working for you? I'd love to hear it in the comments. If this video saves you even one sleepless night of Googling, hit the subscribe button. And if you need any help with this, visit, you guys heard me say it 100 times, docfilmschool.com. All right, let's keep making movies. We'll see you in the next video.